Live? Okay.
It says live.
Good.
We're getting better each
We
day.
are
I build
getting
this stuff
better,
for a living. You would think that it's not so hard for me, but it
right?
is. It is. Hello, everybody. Why don't you kick it off?
Yes.
Introduce us, Miss Kimberly,
Hello.
and then we'll
All
play our
right.
music.
I'm Kimberly Mosby, the host of Unveiling Shadows podcast. This is my co-host Erica Bailey with Iconic Marketing, and we're happy to have you here today. We're going to speak about hope because in this crazy, wild world that we're living in, sometimes it can get very down and very depressing. And Erica texted me last night and said, "What if we talk about hope?" And I think it's really important for us to stay in a very mindful place and a very hopeful one.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, while we're waiting for some people to join us, I just thought I'm going to play this because this song is what made me think about it. So I thought we'd play this song while we're waiting for people. Just nod if you can hear it. Okay. Oh, maybe mute. There we go.
Oh, oh,
Can you hear it?
oh, 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 I don't feel safe in this bed. There are voices in my head. I've been talking to the dead, and the fear baptized me. My kingdom turned to dust, and I watched all my riches rust. Have I lost the Midas touch, or do sad eyes blind me? Over and over we go, over the hills and the valleys below. Oh, and it follows me home, and it suffocates me. No, I can't breathe. I said, oh, I can't breathe. All I know is I forgot how to be me. I don't feel safe in these holes. There are bruises on the walls. There are bodies in the floors, and they breathe so loudly. I wish I could move, get up and walk right out this tomb. Do our saviors die too soon? For my sins surround me. Over and over we go, and over we go, and the valleys below. Oh, and it follows me, and it suffocates me. I can't breathe. I said, oh, I can't breathe. All I know be me.
I like it.
He gave
Almost done.
up the fight. A quick decision late in the night that stayed with me for all of my life. I miss you so.
So I did that one because I'm thinking, oh, hey, Margarita, for some reason we got you in our actual Riverside. And we got to jump you out of there and get you the YouTube link because it's echoing stuff. So don't know how we did it. But
I don't know how I did that. I mean, I probably did it wrong on the 1 day notice. I'm so sorry about that, Margarita.
That's
Um,
okay.
it's all right, darling.
um,
So we're gonna have you jump out in here, and Tiffany's gonna put the before you leave.
link.
Tiffany's gonna put the link in our chat. Can you see our chat, darling?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna put
Okay,
the
good.
actual link to the YouTube in the chat real quick. Tiff, can you drop that in there?
Yeah, that was totally my fault because when I went to send out the 1 hour one, I was like, I think I copied the Riverside link into the first email that I sent out yesterday, but then I fixed it in the one that went out just like, an hour before. So sorry
It's
about
all
that, but we're
good.
glad that you're here.
We're
Thank you.
thankful for you. Thank you for
I,
you. All
I'm not
right,
very good with computers, so I don't know how I'm going to do this.
we're gonna get you exactly where you need to go,
Um,
sweetheart. Hold on. Okay,
Oh, excuse me.
that's all right. So do you see our, oh, well, no. If you can see the chat in here, darling, you should see
let me go to my email and see if I can click on it and copy and paste it in there.
There you go. Yeah. We'll shoot you an email too. How's that?
Yeah, and then she should just be able to click on the link.
So do you see our, oh, well, no.
Here, I got it right here.
If you can see the chat in here, darling, you should see.
Let me go to my email and see if I can click on it and copy and paste it in there.
There you go, Margarita. So you can just press the leave button.
Press the what?
Yeah, and then she should just be able
You'll see leave.
I can't hear you. Just a sec.
While we're figuring this out, guys, the purpose for today is when we're reading through a lot of these comments, we're seeing a lot of people in some pretty deep despair, and it's justifiably so. However, we can't, and I told Kimberly this when we first started, don't let them take your light, even if you just have a little bit. And so we wanted to touch on hope. And I really want you guys to engage and respond and tell me, like, where do you go to? Right? Like, where do you go to when you need hope or you need guidance? For me, my things are I go into my garden or I build 3D puzzles and I just think, or I listen to music, or I pick up the phone and call my best friend, who I know will always answer,
Yes.
who doesn't judge me. You know what I mean? She'll tell me, you're targeted. but she never judges. She never questions. Oh,
Okay. Whoops. What can she be
go
emailed?
under people. Yeah.
Let's email her. I'm just gonna hide her.
There you go. That works. So, but that's what we want to talk about today. Hopefully there's not going to be a lot of problems. Yeah, Kemp, I agree. We've had struggles, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So ultimately, that's what we want to talk about today. Like, let's really dive into the importance of hope and how you can find it even in the darkest of times. And I'm going to tell you my favorite, um, hold on, I'm going to find it. Double door. My favorite quote on hope or about finding the light. And it says, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. I'm interested to know if any of you know where that comes from. And so let's just dive into it, guys. So, like I said, my ways of finding hope is those three things primarily, or I call my mom. But like Kimberly, talk to me about, when you're in your darkest times, how did you turn to hope?
Well, it's a very good question. I First of all, when you're first targeted, it almost feels like you go through a process of grieving almost. Because first, when you discover what's going on, you get really pissed off and you get really angry. And then you get kind of sad. And then you have to like push through that to come out on the other side to be like, I know that I'm not alone in this. And I know that if we band together, that we can get through this. You have to have
I
some
think,
sort of hope and
yeah,
faith, or we're not going to make it. So I
I
hope
think that,
Margarita finds the right
yeah,
link. I feel
we'll
bad.
get that. It's all right. I think that for you, and I've watched you in this journey, and I do. I remember the woman who sat across from me who could barely look at me in the eye. Like, I remember that woman, and I know the woman you are now. And I believe that all of the people who are saying thank you, Kimberly, or who are sharing their stories with you, I think that also kind of gave you a sense of hope because you knew in that moment that you were not alone.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
watched you gr-
absolutely.
grow and turn into a woman who has no problem looking straight into this camera and expressing her feelings and her point of view with love and respect and all of the beauty that you are. But I think it's also the people who have helped you along the way. And
Yeah.
so, all right, Mark says he reads the Bible and it's filled with hope and salvation. And that actually, oh, and Kemp says I play either chess, checkers, or something that can take my mind off things for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my new thing, guys. They're 3D puzzles. You can't
Oh,
really
that's
see
a
it because of
different
the
one.
glare, but yeah, this is a different one. I'm doing 3D puzzles because my mind is always going and going and going and going. I need something that is still challenging but simplistic, right? To kind of put me in a space. Kemp says it. He also does that with, and there you go. Also does that with depression and anxiety. Find something. Those are some great, um, you know,
Well, I think
kind.
helping write the book was a big thing too, because even Denise said the person sitting here at the end of this process is not the same person that I saw sitting here when we first started writing your book. And I said,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they're going through that process. Yeah.
So, writing the book, putting down all of your experiences, your thoughts, and that was a part of your healing process. That gave you
Yeah.
hope. There was an end, right? You could put it down on paper and it was out almost. I have another friend, client that we're working on, and he's gone through a lot of targeting in terms of parental alienation, and he's doing the same thing. He's writing a book. And what he's told me is that through this process, he's actually finding that he is taking some of it out of here right here, where it's like the demon is like trying to crawl out of your chest. And by putting it on paper, it's helped him come from here out. And I think that that is a good, a good way to kind of get some of this anxiety and pain and overwhelm out of you. Write it
Yeah.
down. I mean, that's an idea. And we're talking, a lot of people say that they praise God, and we all have different views, and I have no judgment on anybody else's. But you actually found something. You said it was a prayer that you wanted to share
Yeah.
today. Okay.
So I was looking at like targeted individuals and prayers on YouTube, and I found this channel about V2K gang stalking demons DW's nano targeted individual prayers for hope, faith, protection, and peace. And the channel is Endure Until the End. And this gentleman did it a year ago. At first, when I first listened to it, I didn't know what ABBA meant. I can drop the link in the thing. Erica, do you want that?
Yeah. Do you want me to share it?
I'm gonna share
You
the
want me to
link right
drive?
here in
Okay.
chat. So no,
Okay.
you can drive, yeah, if you would, because it sounds better, I think, on your computer. But
Okay.
when I was listening to this, I was like, I wonder what ABBA means. And then, so I actually had
I
to
don't know
look
what
that
that is.
up. And it's Abba is an Aramaic word. It translates to father in English. And so it's often used in the context of intimacy and authority, particularly in religious settings. It is notably used in the New Testament by Jesus and Paul to address God. So that's what he would say when Jesus was praying to God, he would say Abba.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I
Interesting.
learned
I'm
something
not
new
seeing the
every
link
day.
in here.
In the
You can just
chat, the
text
group.
it to me. Yeah, just
Oh,
text it to me.
okay.
Yeah, I'm not seeing
Okay.
it. But I don't know if I'm just running slow. That's interesting. And I find, I am very spiritual, guys. I don't necessarily, I believe in all of the teachings, but I don't necessarily believe in an organized religion. Um, but I love how God, the Bible, how that does bring a lot of hope to people. Um, and I see it a lot in your channel too. So let's look at this. Let me pull this up. Hold on just a second. All right. Oh, all right. Let me share my screen. That'd probably help, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I've got this baby kitty that is obsessed with me. His name is
That's all right.
Perseverance.
It's
His
perseverance.
name is Perseverance, and he's very much persevering.
He's a pain in the ass, but we love him. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Let's do this. And I might pause it here and there, guys, because I'm going to ask you. Like, I want to know what your thoughts are. What about, and I'm seeing this for the first time, what about what is being said here, like, fills you? I want to know what fills you up. We talk enough about emptying your, being empty and broken. Let's talk about what fills you up.
Boldly before your throne to pray for all targeted individuals, for protection, for guidance, for peace, for contentment. I ask that you please show us miracles, help us to cut through all the distractions and pain and suffering, and please give us the strength, the inspiration, the wisdom, courage, and give us the motivation needed to either discover or to continue to walk out your will for our lives. I pray this for all TIs and all who are listening or reading. Abba, first of all, I want to pray against anything that might be coming against us, anything coming against this prayer, anything coming against us in the spirit realm or in the natural. I pray that you bypass all of this adversity, and I pray that this prayer take root and begin to grow into our lives immediately without any interference. Thank you, Abba. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, I pray that you bring relief to everyone who is going through V2K, through biohacking, through audible disturbances, through visual disturbances, through frequency warfare, subliminal hypnosis, and all that pertains to this fallen angel technology. I pray protection and a divine blessing over all who are being attacked by this technology. I pray that everyone dealing with this voice of skull would be miraculously comforted, healed, and protected. And I pray that you hinder their DNA frequency from being tapped into by these evil algorithms. I pray that the entire system of artificial intelligence would be glitched out and start to malfunction. May the code be totally corrupted and no longer function. I pray that all loops that are set in motion against us would be broken. And I pray that all algorithms will have their code scrambled and corrupted, no longer functioning as intended. I pray that you show all who are being attacked by these things, by these V2K, by any of this technology, please, Abba, open the heavens above them and loose miracles into their lives, into them, into their bodies, and all around them. Please bring them relief, Abba. Please give them faith and hope. Do not let their hope die. I pray for all TIs who are contemplating suicide. I pray, Abba, that you dispatch an army of angels to give all who are in such a state a new glimpse of hope, a reason to live. Please show them all a miracle and bring them comfort, Abba. Bring them hope and faith against all odds. Please show them all a miracle, Abba. Anyone contemplating suicide or anything of this sort, I pray that you reach into their lives, their hearts, their minds, and their thoughts right now and show them a miracle. Remove all demons and all influence from them. And please help them in whatever way they need help, Abba. Please adapt this prayer to meet their every need on a personal level, Abba. I thank you in advance, Abba. Please deliver them from all demonic influence and demonic AI influence, known or unknown. We need you, Abba. This is a ridiculously complex battle that we are fighting. I pray that you please provide.
Okay, hold on. So I'm not sure if we want to watch the whole thing, but what I'm loving here is whether you believe in God or not, having somebody out there hoping for you, praying for you, even though they don't know you.
Know you. Yeah.
That's pretty powerful. Like that's pretty touching. And it's yeah, I mean, it's pretty powerful. Like guys, what do you think? Like even if you don't believe in a god or a higher power, like hearing these types of things in the situation that you've all experienced, like how does this make you feel? All right, let's get back here.
Provide clean food, clean water, and a safe shelter to all who are homeless and struggling to get through each day. Please show them a miracle and send an angel into their lives in the natural and in the spirit realm. I pray that you give them all a glimpse of hope and give them the help that they need to continue on in faith. I pray that all TIs who haven't yet found you, I pray that you would please reach in and remove all their bitterness, all spite, all hatred, all indoctrination, and everything that the education system has brainwashed them with that keeps them in an atheist mindset. Show them how all the systems in place are designed to discredit Scripture and how it's all just science falsely called so and vain babblings, just as it says in 1 Timothy 6:20. O Timothy, guard that which is committed unto thee, turning away from the profane babblings and opposition of the knowledge which is falsely so called. Abba, please show them that by being atheists, they are falling right into the Freemasonic trap that is set for them.
So what I'm hearing here is that he's he's saying that atheists are part of the problem. Is that what you guys are hearing too?
That's what I'm hearing because they don't believe in anything. If you're agnostic, then you believe in something. You believe in a higher power. If you are atheist, you don't believe in anything spiritual at all. You don't think that there is anything greater than yourself, which is a problem because that's self-serving.
Ooh, okay. Okay. What do you guys think about that? I love these kids. Oh, it is deep. You're right. Let's see, Deborah. It's my only survival to put to God first. Oh, but calling him a liar if I didn't leave. Wow. Wow, this is actually touching some people. All right, let's keep watching this.
Please show them on a personal level that the Bible is the only truth that we have in this world, and show them how deep the lie is, and how great the great deception really is, and how multifaceted it is. Please, Abba, I pray that you show them just like you showed me, and give them visions or glimpses that will cause them to research further. Please defy the reality that they think they know, so that they can actually be willing to question if you are there or not. Please, Abba, I don't want any TIs to have to go through this pain for no reason, so please reveal yourself to all of them in a way that they would not be able to deny. They need you, Abba. Please, whatever it takes, reveal yourself to them so they can truly make an informed decision. Reveal to them how much of a lie everything we were taught is, so that they can start to wonder why the lie is there to begin with. Whatever it would take for them to find you, Abba, let it come to pass. I come against all.
I know you guys are probably so annoyed with me with doing this, but what did he just say that I God, it's so they can start to wonder why the lie is there. Ask questions, right? Okay. So that's something completely new. All right. Sorry guys. Don't, get annoyed with me, but
There to begin with. Whatever it would take for them to find you, Abba, let it come to pass. I come against all demonic entities operating through gang stalkers now in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. I pray that you put a hedge of protection and a wall of fire around every TI and keep the demons at bay. Give them the strength to endure without reacting, Abba. I pray that all of us learn how to not react to their mockery and their tactics. And I pray that we see all of their traps. I pray this for all of us. I pray that we have ministering angels assigned to us, as it says in Psalm 91, so that we may not strike our foot against a stone. And I also pray that you assign angels concerning us, that will guard us in all of our ways. Thank you, Abba. I pray for all who are losing hope or losing faith because of prolonged trauma. Please give them a glimpse of hope and faith, and strengthen their faith, revitalize their hope, and show all of them that they are in the palm of your hand. Remind all of us that your hand is over our life. Please bring back to life all of our hope and faith, Abba. We need you more than ever. I pray against all noise campaigns, all harassing spirits, all planes and helicopters, all street theater, and all stalking, all color sensitization, and all other tactics to steal our attention and trigger us. Abba, I pray that all of us going through it would have the foresight and insight needed. And may you give us the awareness needed to not have knee jerk reactions to them and to not react to their stimuli.
okay. So this is absolutely beautiful. We
Isn't it?
definitely need to drop this in the chat. I think people will benefit from even listening just to this on their own. So I'm gonna grab this right now and I'm gonna drop it in the
It's in
chat
the
for everybody.
it's in the
It's in
chat
there.
already.
Okay. All
Well, it
right.
should be. For some reason, I'm not seeing all of the
I'm not seeing
you
all the
know,
comments. Yeah, I'm seeing
no,
them. I've got it
because
up on my YouTube.
okay, because they like to, you know, mess around,
They do like
and
to mess around.
I don't really like that.
So Deborah posted in here. She says, "Trust no man," and I have to challenge that a little bit. But I'd like to know, Deborah, why you say that. Okay, because if Kimberly didn't place trust in me to help her with this guidance, like we wouldn't have become like soul sisters and besties, and she wouldn't have had somebody who literally like had her back no matter what, even in doubt and questions. So help me understand, because I this isn't the first person I've heard say trust no one. How do you even survive without trusting anyone? Like, what are your thoughts on trust no one, Kimberly?
Well, when I first was going through this and I called the FBI guy to tell him, what was going on. And I said, I feel like I can't trust anyone. And he said, you shouldn't.
But
And I'm
really,
like,
though.
and I'm like, you know, but then you've got to let your inner knowing guide, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if they were to go to my hair lady here and say, "Hey, we want you to do this sick and twisted demonic plan against her, or we want you to put some chemical, while you're doing some washing her hair." I have a feeling that she would say no, like truly would say, I don't want to be a part of any of that, because we have to remember that this is a spiritual war and there are really good human beings out there, and a lot of us TIs are those people, and we are also part of the designing of this plan. So that's why when I came across this prayer, I needed to share it, because there's a divine purpose for us being here and being targeted the way that we are. And I think that we are high vibrational beings, as I stated before, and we know that our our life isn't eternal. Like we may like have the shell, be done with the shell, but when we pass, we'll know not to go towards the false light, because it's going to keep us in this realm where we don't want to be. So,
So trusting your inner guide on who to. So trust yourself first, right? If we're talking about trust yourself first. Trust that gut feeling that something might not be right.
yeah,
All right. Trust
yeah,
that you know yourself well enough to know when something is not right. So that's number one.
yes,
But finding a way to trust, um, finding somebody to trust, I think, is really important. And Kemp says, what was it Kemp that said? You can't truly, fully trust anyone. However, at least not until you know the other person's story and some of the legitimacy behind it. So I think what he's saying, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Kemp, but what you're saying is don't trust at first, but learn about the person and build trust. I think that's where he's going with that. I mean, do you think that having somebody like Kimberly, like a best friend, like somebody you can actually go and sit down to and cry if you need to, like, I think that is vital to find that person. But how when you're so scared and so,
right.
lack of hope? How do you even start trusting somebody else? I
That's a
mean,
very good
you had no
question.
reason to trust me.
I know, and
How?
I had no reason to trust Igor when he showed up at the targeted
Mm-hmm.
justice rally last August. But I did that for a reason, because he was warning me about what I was about to do, about calling this project out to people, and then he said, "Do you want me to help you?" And I said, "Yes." And he's been very helpful at giving me information when I was first starting to, find out all of the pieces of this puzzle, which is like a deep, dark web of of stuff, done
Shit.
to people. Yeah, bullshit. Yeah. And then he also helped me get out of Salt Lake City. And if it wouldn't have been for him, I probably wouldn't have made it out of there alive, if I'm being completely honest. Because I would have had to, with the limited amount of funds that I had, I would have had to rent a U-Haul truck, bring my car down here, fly back, get my cats, and then drive another 24 hours to get here. As where he was able to put it in his truck in one load, including my small little car, where it took us 24 hours to get down here with one, staying one night and you know me staying
Somewhere.
a night in a
Yeah.
hotel with the cats. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like I wouldn't be here if I wouldn't have trusted. And so I think a lot of the V2K is gets in the mix and tries to confuse TIs on who they should trust and who they shouldn't trust. Because
Fear.
because I had that in my head, and Igor and I discussed it, saying they're probably going to, put subliminal messaging or something in your head to make you not want to trust me, and vice versa. But we see it go in between targeted individuals all the time, where they're like, well, you shouldn't trust that person, or, they're spreading misinformation on purpose. Well, that's not helpful, And if I don't know, and I am doing the best to relay the message to other people so that they can understand, and trying to do it in an eloquent way without turning them off and calling me a conspiracy theorist, then I don't know what else to say. I'm just going to keep doing me. And then you also have to really not care about what other people think about you. You just have to be true to yourself.
Okay, so the caring about what other people think about you, it is 100% on point, but it's also harder, or it's easier said than done, right? And I mean, to come out and say something like, I believe I'm target, I believe that this is happening, that V2K is being sent to me, and having to be able to say that out loud and see the person's immediate response, whether you, no matter what. I mean, you could probably see in my head, in my facial expressions, like, the fuck is this girl talking about? You know what I mean?
Oh, I've had
So,
people look at me with total disdain and disgust because they're so brainwashed, they don't even want to go there. And that it's really unfortunate, because they're going to be the ones that aren't going to survive ultimately. They'll just, you they just have to know that technology is like Star Trek, and those people think they're living in Disney World. I got
oh,
that.
I haven't
I
heard
got
that
that off
before.
of. I got that from James Martinez off of Sean Abbott's podcast, and that's what James Martinez said. And I was like, this guy, he knows what's going on, and
Star
yeah.
Trek, you're in Disney. So, in other words, I'm in Disney World, right? In Harry Potter land. By the way, guys, that quote was from Dumbledore, Harry Potter. So, the one I said earlier, I didn't see anybody call it. Um, let's see here. It says, Kep says, the only reason why I have the trust issues is because no matter who I've tried to trust, not only with the things that I've been through as being a TI, but also other areas, I've been greatly betrayed and made not only the full love, but could also get me into predicaments where it turned into violence after a while. So it's really like being afraid. Being afraid is blocking you from being able, and not just you, Ken, but being afraid is blocking you from being able to make some sort of connections, because you don't know who you can trust. And when you do trust, it's like they just, step on your face. So being afraid of that seems to be a pretty common denominator, right? When we're talking about hope and finding somebody that you can, you can depend on. That's gotta be fucking lonely. That's gotta be lonely.
Well, this is what V2K voices give: a bad memory, it follows you home.
The weapon against praising God in my truck is the only thing that helps me. It's the
Yeah.
only thing. Does he talk back to you guys? Like, do you hear the messages from God, or can you tell the difference? Like, because I can have conversations in my head, or conversations to the universe or the higher power or whatever it is that I need to talk to. But like, if you're being targeted, how do you know who's answering?
Well,
You guys
right. If
understand
it's
my question?
Yeah, if it's voice to skull technology, and that's why they call it the voice of God weaponry. But I think that it can show up in, I don't know, different ways.
Interesting. Deborah says she likes being alone. And a lot of people do. Like, I'm not placing judgment.
Deborah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. I'm not placing judgment on that, but like, I just feel if people had a, soul sister like I have in you, that's just a easy spark of light. There's hope. As I know, I
And
can pick
hope.
up the phone
Yeah.
and call my friend anytime I needed to, and I have somebody there on the other end who will answer and who will listen and who will tell me when I need to STFU, right? Or stop acting overly emotional. But it's like, having that person, I think, is a complete sign of hope, and faith is a complete sign of hope.
Yeah.
But like, what else do people turn to? Like, for me, hope, it's just like natural. It's just in my heart. So I really don't know how you go out and find hope. Does does that make sense?
I think as long as you know that there's something bigger than yourself out there, I think that there's always a possibility for hope. I don't think that Deborah doesn't have hope. I think that she has learned to live in solitude as myself, because this is a spiritual war, and you can't look outside of yourself for that that inner spiritual knowing. You have to go within. And sometimes, like, I live alone, obviously. And so I understand that sometimes it's just easier because you don't know who's going to be a perp, and who's going to be a honeypot, and who's going to be a handler.
And who's going to be a bundle of love and light and sparkle pixie dust?
Yes. Yes, you are. You're my sparkly pixie dust for sure.
So Fearless says, fearless survivor in Northern Colorado corruption. This is a goal of the program, is to have no trust. So you isolate yourself. Go with your gut. What you talked
Yep.
about is having
Yep.
that gut feeling, right?
Yep.
And let's see. Deborah says he speaks softly. So maybe that's a different way that you can make out between, the fed to you and the real answers that you're looking for, is maybe they speak softly. And then Kemp says that's why he sticks to reading, though, is because you don't know, right? Like, what you're hearing is where it's coming from. It's quite powerful, but really believing in yourself. I'm seeing that repetitive in the
Yeah.
comments. Believing in yourself, trusting your gut, finding some sort of faith or spirituality that reminds you there's more to this plane of existence than what's right in front of you.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Oh, wow. Rebel Rose says, I mean, even a nurse, like trusting a nurse or a doctor or a teacher, like, it's fear. That's
Well,
what I'm getting. It's fear. And I get
yeah.
it. You cannot trust until you let go of fear. Ha ha ha. That comment just came up. Thanks, fearless
Yeah.
survivor.
Yeah.
But how do you let go of
Yeah.
fear when you're terrified? I mean, like, we go to therapy, right? Like, therapy is important to us, in terms of finding paths forward. But how do you go from being terrified to, I mean, how did you do it, Kimberly? I know you were scared in the beginning. As tough as you are, I know you were
Yeah.
scared. How
Okay.
do you go from
Yes.
scared to fearless?
That's what I'm saying. So that was part of the, it's kind of like going through stages of grief. So once you're fearful, and then you get angry, and then I started calling these MFers out and being like, "What in the actual F is going on here?" and then and then it was like, okay, I'm gonna handle this shit. And then I started writing the book, and then had some, rapid processing, also could be called EMDR therapy. I don't really go to therapy anymore because I go out to the ocean, once or twice
That's
a
your
week,
therapy.
and I try to go out there in the morning so that there's no one around me at all. Like, I just do grounding. I stay as grounded as I possibly can, because this technology messes with our natural Schumann resonance, which is
Human resonance.
the Schumann resonance is the resonance of the Earth. It is the magnetic pull of the universe. And with all this dirty electricity, and then them putting in the 5G, where they're basically radiating us to death, which I did a little solo cast on Mark Steele, and he's in the UK. And his Substack is Save Us Now. So that one's pretty funny that he does. But like I said, we tried to get on several times. This last time that I tried to get him on, because he's an actual engineer, he helped engineer some of this um, stuff. They kept messing with us so hard that he couldn't get on, and then he was requested to do a Microsoft software upgrade, and he's like, no, not gonna happen. And I was like, so I just sent him a really nice email, and he said, thank you for that. We're gonna take down these demons. And I said, yeah, we are. So eventually someday I'll have Mark Steele on the Radical Truth Summit. But he knew not to do the update on that program, and there was a reason why. And so I have a lot of respect for that guy, because he's not a coward, first of all. And I think people need to be really courageous when it comes to this stuff, and realize how much strength you actually do have being a TI or a TS, targeted survivor.
So I never actually thought that this could really apply to grief, right? And I'm not sure if anybody knows what the different stages of grief. Some say there's 5, some say there's 7, some say there's 9. But you start in the denial, right? Then you get angry, then bargaining, depression, and acceptance. So what they're saying is, in reality, so this is the stages they say, right? The stages of grief. But in reality, look at this. In reality, you're experiencing all of these different stages in one
All at
timeline.
once. Yep.
Maybe just different parts of the timeline, but you're really experiencing all of these different feelings, guys, all at once. It's not I'm in the denial phase right now, and then all of a sudden, okay, I'm no longer denying, I'm angry. And then, like, you can really experience all of this at once. But I think the end point is the acceptance of, it's where you are right now. It sucks. It absolutely sucks, but it's where you are right now. Now, how do I become a survivor and not a targeted, individual? How do I become a targeted survivor, which is what you say a lot. Kimberly, is that you're not a victim. You are a
Yeah,
survivor.
I'm not. But the bargaining part is in the middle. So I want to know how many TIs tried to bargain with the V2 gay or the gang stalkers. because I did that a little bit. And then I was just like, F you all. Just totally F you.
Bargain with them how? What do you mean?
Like, okay. Like, I don't know. I can't give
Okay.
an example right now, but maybe like, I don't know.
What do you guys think that bargain? Because I can see where you're going. Like, I can see where you're
Yeah.
going, but I can also see your brain's like, yeah, I know you so well. I know you so well because she knows the answer. It's on the tip of her tongue. Bargaining, like, how do you go through that? I mean, in these different grief stages, right? That's interesting. I have to call him out. Deborah says, call him out. Yeah.
Yeah, call
Okay.
them out. I did that a bunch of times.
Yeah. So I guess that's kind of, you can consider that bargaining. I'm going to look that one up a little bit and figure
I
out
have
what
to
that
put
bargaining is.
I have to put the copper wire again on Deborah because they just do the hot flashes and stuff. Oh, sorry, Becca, I sent the wrong link earlier. I sorry, Becca, I sent the wrong link earlier, but I'll drop the actual YouTube link in the chat really quick if you want to go grab it. And then, yeah, that was totally my bad. I feel so bad that people are logging in.
It's all
Wait,
right,
that
you
was
know?
that was the wrong one. That was the wrong one. Hold on, I gotta mute myself.
So, okay. What this says here, guys, is that bargaining, testing, or bargaining from the 5-stage model and testing from the 7-stage. So that, like I said, there's 2 different ways. They both help you hold on to hope. Interesting. In these situations, you may try to bargain with God or the universe to bring things back to how they were for just one moment with your loved ones, or even taking their place. Testing is similar in that you may begin experimenting with your new situation to discover what actually means in your life. Both of these are helpful in the grieving process, but remember, you do this your way. No one can tell you how to bargain with or test your situations. No matter how you process these stages, there's no such thing as a normal way. You have your normal, and that is what will work for you. So did you guys try and like, did you ask these questions? Did you try to bargain on with God? I mean, for those of you who are religious or spiritual, like, did you pray and ask God to just turn things back the way they were? Like, are these conversations that you've actually had? I'm really interested in knowing that. Really interested in knowing that. Oh my gosh. I love it when you guys talk with us like this. It makes this so much easier. You're still on mute, gorgeous, by the way. Let's
So
see.
Becca and Thantia, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Can you go to the group chat and click on that link? Because when I sent the
Okay.
first one out yesterday, it actually went to this Riverside platform, so it's my fault. But if you click on the one in the chat, it'll take you into the actual YouTube. Thanks for
And you'll be able to
joining
watch
us.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they're jumping in for a reason.
Yeah, thank you.
So did that make sense though? Did you hear me when I was talking about bargaining, Kimberly?
I don't know, I got
No?
a cat in
Okay.
my hair.
So
I don't see the
say it
link
again.
in the chat.
Let's see. Let's
guys,
see.
all right.
Can you see that right there? Can you copy and paste that?
Think about
And then-
worst case scenario and build from that point up, Igor says, because you have to die in the trip and the stuff and oh, okay. So guys, look at Igor's message. It's up a little bit. It talks about some other treatment options, and these are all natural treatment options too. Communicate with very messages. Oh. Guys, are you reading these messages with each other? Like, this is really good stuff. And this is a like a group of people that are all here experiencing what you're experiencing. You know, lean on each other is what I say. you're all here in one group. Like, lean on each other. Ask questions of each other. Like, this is absolutely beautiful. Copper wire is amazing. So talk with me about how that copper wire thing, because you've talked about this before, Kimberly. So copper wire, like, how
Yeah.
does that relieve some of that? Because I think once you have some of this gone, that might give you a little like space to find hope.
This is EMF protection right here.
Okay.
This tensor ring. That's why I carry this everywhere on my body, on my person. And then I have another one that's a little bit bigger one. This is the one that I'm going to make that sucker punch out of, that I'm going to wrap that 25 gauge wire around and then put a crystal in the middle of it. If you want to go and watch a video about that, it's on Moon is Magic. She's on YouTube, and her boyfriend or whatever shows you how to wrap the coil around this. And then that should protect you from EMF at least a 2-mile radius. And like they like to drown us in this this grid of basically radiation, because that's what it is. That's what I'm gonna call it, electromagnetic frequency radiation. And so
That's what La Resistance just said. That bracelet gives you all the protection you need.
and
so
silver too. He's right, silver. That's good.
Fearless Survivor says, my faith grew because I knew I couldn't do it alone, and I knew there were others. And we actually touched on this a little bit in the very beginning, because I said
Yeah.
I've watched Kimberly like grow over the past, a little over a year. And it really was finding out how many of you were actually out there asking for support, asking for help. And like Rebel Rose, I think, sweetheart, did we talk to you in the Radical Truth Summit? Was that you that we talked to? What do I do? That's what she's asking. Guys, what does she do? Like, help her out. Let's build a community of hope within each other. I'm not asking you to trust each other. I'm asking us to be kind to each other and to respond to people's comments and be like, hey, Rebel Rose, these are resources for you. Like, share. Because watching Kimberly's hope and Kimberly's like just whole energy grow into this amazing, beautiful person that you see in front of you came from people helping her say, here's information, here are resources, here's ways to get, help. If you're not getting any of that, you can't search really online and be like, how do I stop hidden mesh networks in my house? Like, that's not totally readily available, right?
And you have to know what it stems from, because in that guy's prayer he mentions Freemasons. Now, Freemasons are not of religious context. They are a very much secretive society that is, I feel, more on a demonic tone.
You're not the
But I
only one.
didn't. Yeah, but I didn't know that until Igor sent me some information and gave me some books. But the information there's so much out there on this stuff that it can also take down your energy, I think, because it also gets so overwhelming. So sometimes I just have to walk away. I'm not taking my phone to the beach with me anymore. I'm leaving it in the car. I can see the car. And she gets in trouble for wearing these AirPods in her ears, and so I don't know. I just want everybody to stay grounded, stay hopeful, become sovereign, speak your declaration. I did that with Brooke, one of my first women on my podcast. And we, went back and forth, and she said, send me. And I said, I've never done this before with anybody. And so that was nice to, do a sovereign statement. And you have to do that to protect yourself, because you're like, nothing can enter me. that is of a demonic force, because only love and light resides here.
Only love and light resides here. I can't really see this right. I'm showing you. Well, maybe I'm not showing you. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to pull up. There's a bunch of different, if you do search on grounding techniques, and it's a lot more powerful than people think. Okay. Is our grounding techniques. And what this is doing, Kimberly, correct me if I'm wrong, but basically it's bringing you back into your space, right? It's bringing you back into yourself so that you're not like in so many different places in your mind and anxiety, and it just kind of, right? Like that's kind of the purpose of grounding.
Yeah, because it's bringing you into the earth resonance, and the Schumann resonance is the earth resonance, which is 7.83. 7.83. And so you can hug a tree. You can definitely put your feet on the ground, like on grass, in water, at the beach.
Yeah, like your feet on the earth, like not in your
Yeah,
shoes, guys. Like put your
yeah,
feet on the earth. And even if that means walking into your backyard and touching dirt for all I care, but actually putting your feet in the earth, right?
yeah. So this that you brought up is interesting, because when I was in that forced treatment, to get out of, going to the mental institution for 360 days against my will, we learned these things, to as coping mechanisms. And so it was one thing, things you can taste. You would put something sour in your mouth if you were having a panic attack. Two, things you could smell, essential oils. Things you could hear, relaxing music, handpan music. Things you can touch, stuff that was soft and comforting. And then obviously things that you can see would be something that is relaxing to you. So that was more like a coping mechanism, but actual grounding is you have to go step on the ground, not on pavement, but on actual grass. You're muted.
Yeah, like actually feet on the ground. My therapist tells me
Yeah,
like
feet on the ground.
on my hardest days, if I go put my feet in the river or the stream here, even
Yeah.
if it's for a few minutes, like all of a sudden I feel almost like it's all been washed away. So yeah, putting your feet in the ground, and then a breathing technique that you can do, which helps ground you and helps bring the energy up from Mother Earth, is you breathe in. It's called a box breath. You go in,
Mm-hmm.
2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4,
Yep.
out, 2, 3, 4, hold,
Hold.
2, 3,
Yep.
4. And what that's
The
doing
Navy, the
is,
Navy
yes.
SEALs do that.
Yeah, and you're bringing literally the energy, and sometimes you have to close your eyes and like imagine. Like imagine that I'm growing tree roots when I'm standing in the ground, growing tree roots into the ground, and they're golden tree roots. And I imagine that the Mother Earth is literally filling me back up through those tree roots in the gold, right? And
Yeah,
so
that's
I do
great.
the breathing and the visualization and my feet in the ground. But I also use those other grounding techniques when I feel like I am so out here. It's like one thing I can taste. What can I taste? Bitterness in my mouth. Two things I can smell. I don't remember exactly, but like go through those 5 things you can see, and all of a sudden it's like you're almost back in your own mind. I feel like I'm in control of myself again. Right? Once
Yeah.
I do these
It brings
different
you back
grounding
to
coping.
center. Yeah, it
Yeah.
brings you back to center. Sorry guys, I can't see any of the live stream chat to put you up on your comments up on the live
It's all
stream.
good. It's
You
all
know?
good. I know. I know, La Resistance bad girl Erica with the AirPods. I know. I know. But it keeps my brain from going into a million, zillion, gazillion places at once. If you guys haven't been able to tell, I am out here all the time, and I'm pulling in energy from all sorts of other people and things. And if you're angry, I'm angrier. And so it helps me like in here, stay in here. But I did take them out all day, Kimberly. I did take them out all day just for you. And I was
Thank you.
listening. I heard you. And I love that you love me that much. I will keep trying, guys. But like Kimberly said yesterday, it's by design, right? Hi, Dial
But
Purchase.
but
Haven't
we're
seen you in a
here
bit.
also by design, just so you know, because targeted individuals, I think for the most part, are free thinkers. They're confident and they have a high vibration, and they know, like, yeah.
You're here for a reason, guys. And my thing today is I'm going to ask you when we sign off today, write down things that make you feel good. 5 things that
That's
make
good.
you feel good. Okay? Because you have to hold on to that love and light. You have to. So write it down, like literally pen to paper, 5 things that make you feel good. And then whenever you feel overwhelmed or it's too much, like pull that piece of paper out and remind yourself. Because when you're in a state of overwhelm or anxiety, it's really hard to think about things that make you happy or things that you're grateful for, like baby kitty. Hi, baby kitty. It's hard to think of those things in those moments. So if you write it, hopefully we've been able to bring you a little bit of today. So write it down now. Put it on your
Hopefully,
mirror with a dry erase marker or something. Like,
yeah.
find
I have
something
a
to be
s-
grateful for.
I have a sign like that, but it says the elite will be deleted.
All right, that works too. All right, guys, as we're signing off here, I want all of you just to drop something in the chat that you're grateful for today. Like, just start and remember, help each other out, support each other. If you see people asking questions, give them resources if you have them, right? You are not alone, right?
Agreed. You're not alone.
You're not
We've
alone.
got this.
We've
Stay strong. We've got this.
Love you guys. See you next week. You got to end it. You got to press end.